Morning, my name is Chris Adam with Youth Pledge for Employers. I'm delighted to be joined by Zoe, a team leader from Leading Lives. Hello there, Zoe.
Hiya.
Thanks for giving up your time to speak to me this morning. And I guess my sort of first question has to be, can you tell me about Leading Lives and what it is you do?
So, Leading Lives is a non-profit social enterprise. It's also an employee-owned organisation, which is absolutely brilliant because the employees get to have their say and have board meetings and discuss any issues. This includes like any pay rises, any like issues that any staff have. So if I don't know, say if somebody comes in and says they'd like the sick pay to change, that could then be raised in the board and then they can discuss it between themselves and put it forward. But yeah, so Leading Lives provide high quality social care support to people with learning disabilities, autism and complex needs. There are so many different business lines for Leading Lives. So you've got support to live at home, and that's where you're supporting the people to live in their home independently. Majority of these are 24-hour care. You've also got supported independence. So with that, the shift times are a bit smaller. So it could be half an hour to 6 hours a day, depends on what their package would include. So yeah, with that, that could be encouraging them to go shopping, to clean their house, personal care, going out for lunch, anything really. We've also got day opportunities. So we have quite a few hubs located locally. So that's the chance for the individuals to have a social time and enjoy some activities and learn new skills as well. We also have short breaks, which is like a respite service. So that provides respite service for the individual, but also for their family and carers as well. We also have professional services included. But yeah, so I've been in Leading Lives for it's almost 13 years now, but I don't feel like I've been in the same job for 13 years. It's been so varied and I've worked in majority of all the services that are available. So yeah, it's just so lovely.
It's really interesting to hear about all of those different lines you've described there, the variety in the organisation and the role, as you've just said as well. And, you know, sort of what kind of different job roles and people are there to support all of those different business lines?
So the majority is support workers, and they are the front runners. They're the ones that are doing the work. But you couldn't do it without everybody else. So you've got business support who are doing all the behind the scenes paperwork stuff, and they are just as important. Everyone is so valued in the company. You've got team leaders who help to support the customers that we are providing support for, but also the staff teams and helping them to complete their job roles. You've got the service managers who are then higher up, who then help the team leaders and provide opportunities. Even domestics and handymen, absolutely, it's brilliant. I also got given the opportunity to become a trainer. So I provide training and it's called People We Support, and it is what it says on the tin basically. So it's how to provide support for people with autism, learning disabilities, mental health and dementia. And following that, you have the cleaners in there, you have the handymen, you have the business support, because even though they're not providing the support, they're still there, they're still communicating with the customers, they're still making them a cup of tea. So it's so important for them to really understand the individuals that we are providing that support for.
And if we look at the sort of the personality traits and the characteristics of the staff across the organisation, as you said, sort of being, you know, an employee-led organisation, obviously there's going to be a great team dynamic there, I'm sure. And I'm assuming everyone must be compassionate. Everyone must want to help people. You know, that must be sort of the core driving factor, as you say, whether you're a support worker in business support or something like that. Everyone must share those kind of traits.
Oh, definitely. So with Leading Lives, we do have some three main values that we follow. So we think ahead, adapt, flex and focus to remain front runners. We value the relationships and make that Leading Lives difference to live the life that they get to live the lives that they choose. and also grow ourselves to grow others. So on that side, that's where my progression came in. So I started off as a support worker, and I was approached, and they saw the skills that I had and built me up, basically, built my confidence, built my experience up, which then led me to become team leader and a trainer. But for an all-rounder, I think you've just got to be a certain person to be in care. You've just got to be that person. Communication is a massive one, I really believe. And like you said, compassion. I do find the bubbly personality works really, really well with quite a lot of customers, but actually it's lovely to have a variety of different personalities who bring different styles into their work practice, which is absolutely amazing because it gives the individuals a varied choice as well.
And with that variety of personalities, I'm assuming that a lot of the workforce you have is maybe, do people come from a variety of different job backgrounds? Do people come from a lot of different places where they have transferable skills, such as communication, which, as you say, they bring to the role?
Yes, definitely. We've had people come from different care organisations into our roles. Excuse me. We've had people come work experience, straight from school. I was a straight from school person. I was health and social care in school and then came straight in. So many different backgrounds. You've had people that just wanted a complete change, and actually they've loved it. And it's just such a rewarding job to be in. No day is the same. It's just lovely.
And talking about days there, actually, that leads me brilliantly on to my next question, which is, I will acknowledge right now there's no such thing as a typical day. Doesn't exist anywhere, and never has existed, never will. Obviously, you touched on there like about what the good days look like within the organisation. So there's two parts to this question. One, can you just tell me a little bit more about what do the good days look like within Leading Lives, and then what do the challenging days look like?
So the good days are the smiles, to have that rewarding feeling as well, knowing that you've made that difference. But also, it's the same for the challenging days. We all have bad days. The customers all have bad days, and they're entitled to that. And it's just supporting them through that. And actually, that can be just as rewarding at the end to know that you helped get the individual through that.
And then, as I say, I guess that goes hand in hand with the company philosophy you've got there. And as I say, like, I think, as you say, if there's challenging days, whether it be for customers, for staff, I guess that's where it's important to fall back on a team where, as we said, there's good communicators, there's positive, people, and as I say, and everyone there is wanting everyone to grow and develop.
Yeah, so I think mental health wellbeing is so important for the customers we support, but also the staff. If the staff aren't okay, then the customers aren't going to be okay. You need that help all there to support everybody there.
And we mentioned a little bit about how you've had people come in who are straight from school leavers, that kind of thing. You know, from your perspective, if you're looking at the CVs of, say sort of, let's say 17, 18-year-olds coming out of school, as you sort of said, maybe there's will be some things, maybe you see some health and social care and some direct correlating parts on their CV. But what other kind of things might you see, whether it's in their personal statement or the hobbies or maybe a little bit of work experience they've got, that would make you think, you know what, you've got some of the core skills to really succeed within Leading Lives?
I think it can be quite difficult to see that on paper. I think it's quite good to have that opportunity to meet them in person, because you can really get a feel for the vibe of their personality that way. But yeah, like I said, you've got to be just the person that wants to care, the person that wants to make that difference. It doesn't matter if you like going archery or you prefer to do a bit of artwork or you like going shopping. It's just having that variety there.
And I guess that variety of experiences, like as you sort of said, every customer is different. They will all appreciate maybe different personality traits, experiences, characters. And I'm assuming that, especially with the support workers on the front line, adaptability and sort of being able to not necessarily think on their feet, but being able to willing to change and adapt and provide the best experience to that particular customer must be a key skill as well.
Definitely. So I got into the role. I've always loved that rewarding feeling of helping other people. That was just my personality. But then it transpired that I cared for my grandma and granddad. And that even made me more like, yeah, I really, really like this. Then I done the health and social care, so the theory side at school, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely me. So when I got the role, I'd obviously had the theory side behind me, but I didn't have the experience, which can be a bit of a downfall with some jobs. They can often ask, we want 7 years of experience, but you've only just left school. But actually, if you're that certain person, you don't need that experience. You just got to come in and make that difference. And I think that's so, so valuable.
That actually leads me quite nicely onto my last question, because you touched on it there about sort of your journey, your experience, and things, maybe some of the things you've learned along the way. And I asked this to all the employers started to do some employer talks with, which is, if you could go back, Zoe, and speak to maybe your 17, 18-year-old self again, taking into account sort of lessons you've learned, maybe successes you've had, mistakes you've made and learned from, what's the one piece of career advice you would go back and give your younger self?
Do what you've done, because I have made mistakes along the way, but that's how we all learn. That's just, yeah, we learn from all of our mistakes. So actually, any mistakes I've made, I've not regretted it. I've gone straight ahead and I'm like, right, how can I improve that?